it's Shelly with Pastry Shells, and I'm going to show you how to make these dinosaur cookies. First, you're going to start out with the footprint, and we are going to outline and flood the cookie with about a 15 to 20 second consistency icing. And you can choose whatever color you want for the background, and then you're going to choose an opposite color for the details in the foot. This is definitely an easier cookie to make if you are a beginner. Once you've smoothed out the flooding on your cookie, you're going to add the details while the flooding is still wet. So choose an opposing color in the same consistency frosting and add the designs you want. In this case, I am using a green and I am creating a dot effect on the footprint. You can really do almost any design, but make sure you do it quickly before the bottom layer dries. Now we're going to work on the Tyrannosaurus Rex, and for this you're going to outline each section. If you have a hard time seeing where the sections are, you can always use an edible pen to draw where you want your sections to be, but I'm using a medium consistency frosting, about 15 to 20 second consistency, and I'm just outlining every section so that I can then flood in sections as each section dries without them coming together and becoming the same section, if that makes sense. So now that each section is outlined, as you can now see which sections you're going to flood first. So I decided first to flood in the head because I knew there were going to be some details that I wanted to add. So I wanted this section to dry quickly. So I went ahead and filled this section with the same consistency icing. It's about a 15 to 20 second consistency icing, and then I let this dry. Well, at least I let it crust. So if you have a fan, it should only be about 10 minutes. But if you don't, it should be about an hour or two. Now that the head has crusted over, I'm going to be doing the neck or the fan portion of this dinosaur, and I'm going to flood this with the same icing, and then once I'm done flooding this, I can add details to the head since it's already crusted over. First, we're going to start with the eyes on the head, and for this I like to use a stiff consistency icing. So I then pipe the background of the eyes, which this time I'm making white, and then I'm going to add in gray pupils. You can either use stiff consistency icing or about a 10 consistency icing, and you use the same kind with each, the pupil and the white part. It's pretty simple, but it could take some practice, so you can definitely practice on parchment paper before you add it onto here. Now we're flooding in the jaw area with the same icing as before. The neck, kind of crown portion of the dinosaur has already crusted over, so make sure that that is the case so they don't blend in together. Now I'm going to be adding the details to what I'm calling the neck section of the dinosaur. Here I'm going to use a stiff consistency icing. You could even use about a 10-second icing as well, but for the details to stay crisp, you're going to want to use a stiff consistency. I just went with a simple design, but you can go with any design here. Once the jaw portion of the dinosaur has crusted over, you can go ahead with stiff consistency icing to create the smile as well as the little nose on the dinosaur. Once again, please use stiff consistency so that the design stays crisp. Here I'm using stiff consistency with a lot of pressure at first, and as I draw it up,